All right, what we'll be talking about right now is the application of the Protex limb cover. This is designed for patients that have had, either they have a wound that are taken care of, we don't want it to get wet, or we've applied an Unna dressing up their leg that cannot get wet while it's applied, or a cast, all right? There are others, and if you're in a situation where you're applying one of those devices and the physician hasn't spoken to you about that, make sure that you offer this to the patient because it really makes a big difference keeping everything dry. It definitely works better than a garbage bag, all right? What I always recommend my patients, and you can see here, it's a basically a little bag, a little drawstring at the top, okay? Actually has two up there at the top. They're a little elastic to keep that tighter on the leg. When you put this little guy on there, and this obviously, there's two lengths, there's short ones and there's long ones. Thank you. The short ones are designed just for little, if they have a dressing on their foot from a surgery. The longer versions are designed for casts. But in either case, it's always best, I tell patients that everything leaks, there's nothing perfect. They actually make vacuum, can you see up here or no? They even make vacuum form versions of these. Even those leak. So I always tell a patient, if they have a dressing down here, you can wrap a little towel around your leg, hold a rubber band or something like that, and then put this over, and you separate these two little strips here, and I'm probably pulling his hair here, but you separate those two, so if one fails, we have a secondary prevention there, and if that fails, it gets into the towel and not their dressing, okay? If a patient calls and says they got their dressing wet or their cast, a lot of times what they can do is use a hair dryer, unless they feel it's been saturated and it ran all the way down to their heel and not just the top of the cast. But that's the very simple application of the Protex limb cover. That hurt?